Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, my beautiful hot messes. My name is Mistress Lavender, and today I'm reading The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. I'm on page 79, last paragraph, Keys to Power. If you're looking for my regular YouTube, go to A Beautiful Hot Mess, A-Y-E, Beautiful Hot Mess, because this is only for reading. But if you are at the right place, let's begin. We're on, page 79, Keys to Power. Those misfortunes among us who have been brought down by circumstances beyond their control deserve all the help and sympathy we can give them. But there are others who are not born to misfortune and unhappiness, but who draw it upon themselves by their destructive actions and unsettling effects on others. It would be a great thing if we can rise them up, change their patterns, but more often than not, it is their patterns that end up getting inside and changing us. The reason is simple. Humans are extremely susceptible to moods, emotions, and even the ways of thinking of those with whom they spend their time. The incurably unhappy and unstable have a particularly strong infecting power because their characters and emotions are so intense. They often present themselves as victims, making it difficult at first to see their miseries are self-inflicted. Before you realize the real nature of their problems, you have been infected by them. Understand this. In the game of power, the people you associate with are critical. The risk of associating with infectors is that you will waste valuable time and energy trying to free yourself. Though a kind of guilt by association, you will also suffer in the eyes of others. Never underestimate the dangers of infection. There are many kinds of infector to be aware of, but one of the most insidious is the sufferer from chronic dissatisfaction. Cassius, the Roman conspirator against Julius Caesar, had the discontent that comes from deep envy. He simply could not endure the presence of anyone of greater talent. Probably because Caesar sensed the man's interminable sourness, he passed him up for the position of first praetorship and gave the position to Brutus instead. Cassius brooded and brooded, his hatred for Caesar becoming pathological. Brutus himself, a devoted Republican, disliked Caesar's dictatorship. Had he had the patience to wait, he would have become the first man in Rome after Caesar's death and could have undone the evil that the leader had wrought. But Cassius infected him with his own rancor, bending his ear daily with the tales of Caesar's evil. He finally won Bruce over to the conspiracy. It was the beginning of the great tragedy. How many misfortunes could have been avoided had Brutus learned to fear the power of infection? There is only one solution to infection: quarantine. But by the time you recognize the problem, it is often too late. Alola Montez overwhelms you with her forceful personality. Cassius intrigues you with his confiding nature and the depth of his feelings. How can you protect yourself against such insidious viruses? The answer lies in judging the people on the effects they have on the world and not the reasons they give for their problems. Image 1, a virus, unseen. It leans. Infectors can be recognized by the misfortune they draw on themselves. The turbulent past with their long broken relationships, their unstable careers, and the very force of their character, which sweeps you up and makes you lose your reason. Be forewarned by the signs of an infector. Learn to see the discontent in your eyes. Most important of all, do not take pity. Do not enmesh yourself in trying to help. The infector will remain unchanged, but you will be unhinged. The other side of infection is equally valid and perhaps more readily understood. There are people who attract happiness to themselves by their good cheer, natural buoyance, and intelligence. They are a source of pleasure, and you must associate with them to share in the prosperity they draw upon themselves. This applies to more than good cheer and success. All positive qualities can affect us. Talleyrand had many strange and intimidating traits, but most agree that he surpassed all Frenchmen in his graciousness, aristocrat, charm, and wit. Indeed, he came from one of the oldest noble families in the country, and despite his belief in democracy and the French Republic, he retained his courtly manners. His contemporary Napoleon was in many ways the opposite. A peasant from Corsica, taciturn and ungracious, even violent. There was no one Napoleon admired more than Talleyrand. He envied his minister's way with people, his wit, and his ability to charm women, and as best he could, he kept Talleyrand around him, hoping to soak up the culture he lacked. There is no doubt that Napoleon changed as his rule continued. Many of the rough edges were smoothed by his constant associate with Talleyrand. Use the positive side of this emotional osmosis to advantage. If, for example, you are miserly by nature, you will never go beyond a certain limit. Only generous souls attain greatness. Associate with the generous, then, and they will infect you, opening up everything that is tight and restricted in you. If you are gloomy, gravitate to the cheerful. If you are prone to isolation, force yourself to befriend the gregarious. Never associate with those who share your defects. They will only reinforce everything that holds you back. Only create associations with positive affinities. Make this a rule of life, and you will benefit more than from all the therapy in the world. Authority. Recognize the fortunes so that you may choose their company. What? Recognize the fortunes so that you may choose their company, and the unfortunate so that you may avoid them. Misfortune is usually the crime of folly, and among those who suffer from it, there is no malady more contagious. Never open your door to the least of misfortunes, for if you do, many others will follow in its train. Do not die of another's misery. Ballastar Garçon, 1601-1658. Reversal. This law admits of no reversal. Its application is universal. There is nothing to be gained by associating with those who affect you with their misery. There is only power and good fortune to be obtained by associating with the fortunate. Ignore this law at your peril. Why would you ignore it? I guess so. Ignore this law at your peril. So we're gonna stop there. We're on page 82, law 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. We'll stop there. We're making a little bit of a dent, but again, my name is Mistress Lavender. I was reading the law 10 from the 48 laws of power, and the next episode will be page 82. So I guess I should do something at the end. Like, I guess this is someone, like, if you are a miserable person, well, if you are someone that hangs around with miserable people, don't you feel a little bit gloomy yourself? And you might say, oh, I knew them for a long time, or blah, blah, blah. But when you realize that someone else's unhappiness is affecting your own, if you still want to be friends with that person, I guess set boundaries. Because there's so much you can do to help somebody before you have to stop taking care of yourself to take care of somebody else. So, and if you are the miserable person, learn what makes you miserable and try to solve it before you ask for help. I think when you're stuck in a situation, you just want all the help you can get, which is fine, but you never realize when your actions are affecting people. Like, your actions have consequences on others because they want to help you so badly that you can't see that you're affecting their life as well. So just surround yourself with happy people. Make new friends. If you're prone to isolation, go try to meet friends that are more outgoing, or not say force yourself, but try. If you keep on hanging around the same people, of course you're going to be the same because you're hanging around the same people. Yes, people can relate, but will relatability help you grow? Ooh. I am ready for a TED Talk. Oh. And we're gonna end it there. Bye. Have a great day. Stay safe. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn your post notifications on. And remember, you love me, so follow me.